We're about to port at the island of Ocracoke. Very unique place in the country. Oh, the golf cart's great. How many guys and gals on the island still speaking the brogue?
We told on Santenello. Last night water fart, night moonshine, no fish.
All right, translation.
Now the village craftsman was a very interesting guy to talk to. He can taste him. Oh, time Ocracoke started.
Do you feel totally removed from everything?
We're right there, stuck out on the edge of the Atlantic. Yeah.
You got a little pirate in you.
William Howard bought the island in 1759.
That's my house. If he lived there and he lost his roof, everybody jump in and help him.
Why do you think when we get more money, we lose our humanity?
Britain actually owned this little chunk of land.
Are you serious?
Am I an Ocracoke?
Yeah, you're a road fire.
I want that on tape.
This is, if you want to call it, dang tang.
You have a skyscraper. What's going on with fishing right now?
It's a dying breed of people.
Your nephew caught this. We're making a video today.
Of him?
Yeah.
God, all day?
Oh, good times. Morning, guys. Here in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we're about to port at the island of Ocracoke. Here, due to its isolation, are a few people that still speak the Ocracoke Brogue. It's a unique accent that has Irish, English, Scottish, pirate influences. So we have the great fortune to meet up with one of these characters, get on the island, and get a better understanding of what this place is like. Let's do this. We're cruising, Rex.
We're going on a scud. Ocracoke called it a scud.
A little cruise.
Yeah, we call it.
Okay.
Yeah, we call it.
This is the way to do it here on the golf cart.
That's my buddy, J.H.
You know everyone here, Rex.
I know everybody here. Everybody knows me, and I know everybody.
You grew
Yeah.
up here, obviously.
Yeah, born and raised here on the island. I come from a family of 11 boys. No girls in my family.
Whoa, are you serious?
I'm serious as I can
11
be, yeah.
boys, no girls.
But
So
those-
were your parents here just like, we got to get a girl. Let's try one more time, one more time.
Yeah, I think so. You want to ride down some back roads here
Oh,
first?
yeah.
People think the island isn't small. I mean, it is small, but don't get me wrong, it's only 3 miles of the village.
Okay.
But there's a lot of little back roads. A lot of people say, well, I think I've seen it all. I said, no, you ain't.
So O'Neill, your last name's O'Neill. I just saw an O'Neill house.
Yeah, we got O'Neill Cemetery, and there are a lot of O'Neills on the island. This is called Middle Road. In World War II, they used to store the ammunition up here. I can remember when there were no roads back here.
Okay, so your people, your ancestry came over, what, in the 1600s?
Yeah, they've been on the island for a couple hundred years on Ocracoke. Lived off the water, and my daddy was a carpenter. Built a lot of houses on the island. I became a fisherman and carpenter as well.
And Ryan Ballance put me in touch with you, and that's the
There
name.
you go. Yeah, you can see him, man. Yeah.
So how many guys and gals on the island still speaking the brogue?
I mean, some carry it, but not a whole lot of people do it. I don't even know. I don't pay attention to the guy, you know. This is my normal way of talking, you know.
Totally. For you, I have the accent.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
like a lot of people say.
Yeah.
Well, you talk funny. I said, well, I might, but I don't drive cars. I'm not from Boston.
Give me a coffee.
I said, well, you might think I talk funny, but I think you talk funny.
Right, right. Who,
all-
who
it's
has
all-
the monopoly on the accent, right?
You can get it on down. You know, you probably see where a hoity-toity on the Santenello, where I really, you know.
What's hoity-toity?
Hoity-toity on the Santenello. Last night water fart, night moonshine, no fish. Where you supposed battery is our Uncle Woods.
All right,
Now you-
translation.
Okay. High tide on the sound side.
Okay.
It means the tide is high on the sound side. Last night the water fire, that meant there was phosphorus in the water. You know what I'm talking about? When the phosphorus lights the water up.
Okay.
That means the water was bright. Night the moon shined. Moon was so bright. No fish. And the reason there was no fish was because it was so bright that the fish could see the nets, and so they didn't get gill in the nets.
Okay, one more time. How do you say it?
We told it on the south shore. Last night the water fire, night moonshine, no fish.
Okay.
What do you suppose the matter, Uncle Woods? And what they said, and the guy asked him, what do you suppose is the matter, Uncle Woods?
Oh, and people on the ferry told me that in the brogue, high tider means local
Yep.
and dingbatter is an outsider, right?
Yeah.
And also they said that Blackbeard died here.
He got captured and killed in 1718 just off the island, right out of the harbor.
Yeah, so he pillaged something like 40 boats in the Caribbean, up and down the Atlantic coast.
He did. He was a pirate. He was a pirate up and down the Atlantic coast. They would come in and they had ballast stones, like big rocks. That's what they call ballast stones to make their ship ride good. And then when they come in, they'd unload those ballast stones and just throw them away so they could get through the inlet. And they navigate all the way across Pamlico Sound up to another place called Bath, North Carolina.
So Blackbeard was feared. He was like 6'5", 220. He was massive.
Yeah, a very feared pirate, yeah. His name was Edward Teach.
Edward Teach.
Yeah, Edward Teach.
This is interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That one's a little creepy. That girl on the horse, a little creepy. That's really creepy. The one with chains.
Yeah.
Coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Good question. You got to meet her to find out.
There's a UBU mentality here on the island.
Yeah.
Like, live and let be. So what type of people does this island attract to live? Like, who comes here?
Oh, what's it like?
Okay.
Yeah.
From that to everything else.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Most of them are great people, but you get these few come here, they want to change the island, you know.
How
and
so?
we don't like that. Yeah, they want to change it. Well, back in New Jersey, we do it like this.
Right.
So why ain't we doing it like this? Because you ain't in New Jersey.
Yeah.
If you like our lifestyle, the best thing to do, go back to New Jersey.
Like
That's what our feeling of it
It's
is.
the same story everywhere. People live into a community,
and they
that's
want
an
to
old
change
school
it.
community, and they want to change it,
Yeah.
and it pisses the locals off.
Yeah.
But if you come in from the outside and you're respectful to the local
We're well
community,
accepted. You really are.
that's
You
most
try to help.
places, yeah.
That's Hooker's Player Road. That's where the old timers used to go up there and sit in the woods and play poker. And drink homemade wine.
So what are people doing here for work?
A lot of people work on the ferry boats, work in restaurants, work in motels, build houses. I used to do a lot of house building myself, as well as commercial fish. I built this house. This is my house. This is my rental house, not my rental. And my daddy used to have a saying, "No fools, no fun." I named it after his saying, "No fools, no fun."
Is that cool when you build something like that? You get to look back at it all the time and be like, I did that, I remember that time
Yeah,
period.
I built quite a few houses on the island. Yeah, I sure did.
That's cool.
And this is my stockyard where I keep a lot of golf carts.
You're renting golf carts, obviously.
This is where I keep a little cart of parts at and stuff to work on the cars and my tires and all that kind of stuff.
Nice. What's going on with fishing right now?
It's a dying breed of people. There's really not much left for fishing. We got a running joke. It used to be a quaint little fishing village with a drinking problem. Now it's a quaint little drinking village with a fishing problem. It changed.
Right.
Yeah, they used to make a lot of homemade wines and stuff they used to drink. It used to be a dry out here. This is the part of the Pamlico Sound. This is all marshland back here.
So this will actually get flooded through here?
Yeah, it's just 6 years ago, Hurricane Dorian, we up to your chest, right, standing right in this road.
So those occasional hurricanes, you want your house up?
Yes. We had a lot of houses that got flooded. That's why FEMA right here now is jacking a lot of houses. Federal Emergency Management.
FEMA's doing it.
FEMA's doing it. They're for free. Here's one that's just got jacked up right here.
That one just got
You
jacked?
still see all the stuff in the yard.
Okay, so FEMA will come in and jack your house for free?
Yep. They've done about 40 or so far. See, this was still in the works.
Oh, yeah.
It was down low on the ground. It got flooded.
So are people happy with FEMA here, or it depends who you talk to, or what's your
Yeah,
take?
somewhat. But most people are.
How long has FEMA been here doing this?
They came November last year. They're still here.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I like the good FEMA stories because there's so many bad ones. Like in Lahaina, Hawaii, in Maui.
I was there.
I did a story there.
Huh?
I did a story there.
After the Hurt Fire or before?
After, like a year after.
Really? I was there about 5 months before it happened.
The guys I talked to weren't happy with FEMA.
Same with Western North Carolina.
I'm going there next. So it just depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
And then I was just on the, like a remote part of Florida on the coast.
Okay.
And FEMA, the locals said they did a pretty good
See,
job.
you went to Lahaina after the fire and
Yeah.
did a story there.
I go to all these places like a year after wrecks. Reason being, nobody knows what's going on when it's happening.
That's exactly
All the
right.
cameras are there. It's chaos.
Yep.
And I'll go a year later when the cameras have gone away and the stories are still there.
Right, yes. So
this is nice.
These are canals that come up here.
Oh, can I get out for a
Yeah,
second?
sure.
So you can just get right out to the ocean here.
Nope, this way you get out to the Sound. This way it goes further on up into the middle of the village. I'll show you. I can show you my house from here. See the big green house with a metal roof right there, the green one?
Yep.
That's my house.
Oh, way down there. Oh, nice.
You go way down up and you dip here, you circle around, and it starts shallow up. It gets really, really shallow. So if the tides are low, you can't get up there.
Is it a high tider house?
Yeah, high tider ice. Yeah, mine's a high tider. Hoi toiter.
Hoi toiter. Yeah. Okay, what percentage of dingbatters out here?
90% of dingbatters on these houses now. There are a lot of
okay.
a lot of them are built for summer cottages. They rent them for the investments and stuff like that.
What's a home like this go for, roughly?
That was sold for $500,000, something like that.
Okay. What's that, 3-bed, 2-bath?
Something like that. I built this house for a friend of mine as well. This one right here. He's a good friend of mine.
How much would that be these days?
These days on the canal like that, you could probably get $700,000 for it. That's how much they've gone up. I built it for $150,000, you know, way back when. So probably only had
Back in the summer of '69?
Well, I don't know when it was, way back in 02. Yep. This is my pontoon boat, actually.
So you own half the island, right?
I won't go that far, but I own some stuff. This used to be where I did all my commercial fishing out of. There was nothing but crab pots and nets and all that stuff back here. I started fishing in probably about 66, 67 when I was still in school. I was doing some fishing and then went on my own fishing right after I got out of school. I'm fishing like 250 crab pots every day and fish nets every day. And
do you miss it?
I do a lot of ways. That was a labor of love. You get up every morning, go out there, and I mean, I could have probably been a lot more wealthy earlier in life if I'd hadn't just loved fishing so good. You know, because I was a pretty good carpenter.
There was never great money in fishing?
Yeah, I made good money. I made real good money, but yeah, it died away, so now there's not. I could raise a family, you know. You had to have other job. Had a crew the same time I was fishing. I'd go fish mornings and come back and work in the afternoons with my, I come back and work afternoons with my crew to get them set up so they could be working the next morning. So I really always had a couple jobs going, you know.
Okay.
I had to hustle.
Why did fishing go away?
They put so many regulations on it, it was almost impossible to make a living. You see the old camps back in there, they used to be what they call fish camps, where people would fish out of there and just put all their stuff in there. So
I see a lot of these setups, the fishing poles on the back.
Well, just because we got a fishing tournament this week. I'm going to be in a tournament. It's the biggest fishing tournament of the year on the island. It's like 77 teams in it. It says Fish Camp Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this is Ocracoke Community Cemetery. You can see it right there. See it?
Is Blackbeard in here?
No, Blackbeard at sea. He got beheaded. They said he was so mean, they cut his head off. He still swam around the ship 3 times. Well, that's just a tale, you know.
So the old names here are Teeter,
Midgets.
Midget.
A lot of the midgets, O'Neill, Styrens, you see Williams. Like some of them are people that moved here too. Austins, Garishes. You see a lot of O'Neills back there. A few Tolsons.
So when did the big change happen from this being a fishing community to being like rental?
I would say in the early 80s it started transforming into where the people started moving in and buying the land up in the very early 80s. There was some tourism, but not a lot. And then they started really buying up the land. My brother owns that house. There's 5 of us left. 3 of us still live on the island, my brothers.
5 of the 11 left.
5 of the 11 left. Of course, my oldest brother would be in his 90s now, if he was still alive, you know what I mean?
How old are you?
I'm 72 myself.
All right.
I'm getting on up there, but at least I am.
How's it feeling?
I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good. You're fired up on life?
I'm fired up on life. I love life. And I love people. I'm a people person. Everybody says I'm a people person.
Yeah, that's obvious.
People.
Yeah.
My brother used to own this house. He passed. My brother passed now.
Is that pretty sad seeing so many siblings pass away? Or
Yes, it is sad. It's sad, but it's a way of life. What can I say? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is sad.
We all meet the end.
Yes, here's the O'Neill Cemetery right here. That's my brother that's buried right there, O'Neill Cemetery.
That's your cemetery?
Yeah.
O'Neill Cemetery?
Right there, yeah.
So these are all your relatives?
Well, yeah, they are my relatives. That's my brother right there. That way back there, the old tombstones is my grandmother and grandfather.
Okay, those 2 back there.
Yep. I didn't get to meet them. My father was born in 1901, so that's a long time ago. This is my nephew, and of course my brother. Yeah, he was young too. My brother has got him and his mother just off, which is my sister-in-law. That's just like 2 weeks ago. That's very sad.
I'm sorry.
And so anyway, they got their name on there. They'll be buried there. My brother and her, well, you know, cremated and just their base. And actually, that's my house back there. The one I showed you from the canal.
The turquoise one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is my other brother's house. He lives on the island. His wife just died. She was my neighbor too. Almost. It was a very hard time. So, yeah, that's the front of my house. Oh my God. Hey, buddy. That's a musician. That's my grandson. He's a hell of a musician. I mean, when I say
What's he playing?
he played drums and guitar.
No way.
He played with 5 different rock and roll bands. Some of them in their 70s. He is so good, you wouldn't believe it. Hello, that's my lovely wife. And
Oh, how you doing?
that's Alice, that's Asher.
Hey, who's your favorite drummer?
Neil Peart.
Dude, that's my favorite drummer. Yeah, I saw Rush. My first show was Rush at 16 years old. Can you play any of his songs?
Oh yeah, can he play them?
Song, probably.
Yeah, he played
Are you
them.
serious?
Can he play them?
Can we get that on camera, Rex?
You gotta go back to school right now. He can do it if you're still here this evening. He got a little studio in his house. I'll show you.
I would love to hear that. Okay, buddy, we'll see you after
He
school.
can play Zeppelin, he can play anything. This is where we grew up, right here on the end of this road. We used to play as little kids in this, what we called the pond, Northern Pond, is what its name of it is. We used to call it Down Pond.
So just super simple life growing up here.
Yeah, simple, way simple. See, that's Pamlico is the name of the sign, Pamlico sign. Of course, you saw that, you can see that on the map. I heard the British Cemetery. This is where 4 British sailors washed ashore in World War II. So you can walk up there. I won't drive the car, but take your time, Pete. I'll tell you the story about it, a little bit of the story behind it. They got torpedoed with a German U-boat. These 4 washed ashore on Ocracoke beaches. Because they were our allies working with us during World War II, we felt like it was only appropriate to give them a proper burial. So we donated this land to the British. The Britons actually owned this little chunk of land.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is British territory.
Just that little 4 sailors right there. 2 of them are unknown and 2 of them had dog tags. But the United States Coast Guard keeps it up now. Every year they have a British ceremony here with a 21-gun salute and everything else. And this is what they call the Howard Cemetery here. Webb's another name, who lived here. Let's say the old Howard Cemetery.
Oh, the golf cart's great.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Yeah, you don't want a car here.
No.
This is the way. Just jump in and out.
And I like the electric, it's
Hang your
quiet.
feet out the...
Yeah, especially in the summertime, you get your shorts on, there we go. This is what they call East Howard Street. This is one of the older streets on the island. A lot of the streets used to be like this. What they call Howard Street. That's William Howard. Say, hey, William. His grandparents and family go back forever, too. In fact, one of the Howards bought the island originally, right?
Yeah, one time or another. Not left much now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandparents grew up here. My mom and dad both grew up here, but I actually didn't grow up here.
Oh.
My dad, he left at a young age due to having a young child. He went to the Air Force and went to Vietnam.
You live here now?
In fact, jobs were hard to come by here, so people would have to move off the island to find a job. And the wives would stay here, and the husbands would go off and go to work on dredge boats and tugboats and work 3 weeks on, a week off.
And to be able to stay here, don't you think, Rex? You know, you and then into us, to be able to stay here, make a living, and not have to go away.
That was the first generation?
I feel like it maybe, you know what I mean? Like I said, Dad, he was born in 1942.
Yeah.
He had a kid at, my mom was 15, you know, and I'm sure they were like, you got to go do something, buddy.
Yeah, get to work.
He had to go, but Granddad left. He went to Philadelphia, went up there and worked. My uncle crossed there, lived in Delaware and worked. And
What do you think it's like here in 10 years?
I don't know. I just read an article, Old Carolina Country, Rex.
Yeah.
Had Granddad in it, 1962, and they were interviewing Granddad about the power plant. And he was sitting there and they were talking to him, and he was talking about, you know, there ain't much fishing left no more. It's all recreational. There's people everywhere. Last 10 years, I ain't ever seen nothing like that. I said, Kate, does that sound like me talking? You know, he's talking about that 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was real interesting to see how much in 62 Granddad was talking about. That last 10 years was big, and I think most of us would say the last 10 years was real big around here.
You gotta love America. So we have Rex speaking the brogue. You're speaking a North Carolina accent, I would say.
North Carolina altogether.
I'm speaking some Yankee something, right? And we have all these different cool accents.
Yeah.
I love it. And a lot of times people say the southern accent. There are many southern accents.
Oh yeah, even just here, between here and Corsano, there's a big difference.
Oh yeah, you go to Corsano, next door, they got their own accent. Each little island has a different way of speaking. But if you go down to Cedar Island, they speak different than we do. Then if you go down to Harker's Island, they speak different than we do. We all got our own little accents on these little islands. They don't have the beautiful beach that we got. We're out here, stuck out here like a sore thumb. We have an ocean beach. We miss your dad. He's a good man.
Yeah.
I miss his dad. We miss Lindsay.
He said, Rex took me places I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, me and his dad rode right out. The weather was so bad we couldn't fish, couldn't get on the beach. So I said, come on, Lindsay, let's go for a ride. Me and he went around and got us a 12-pack of beer. We rode all over everywhere. We rode the whole day up and down these little roads and stuff like that. Kind of like we're doing, but more of them. I mean, and it was the time, it was raining, blowing.
That was a rough storm.
Weather was terrible, but I wish she was here to fish with us. My God, that was fun. Lindsay was a top-notch guy. I tell you that. All right, William. We'll catch you later, buddy.
Take care. This is a cute street.
We used to play out here as a kid all the time. Of course, you didn't have as many houses and stuff like that on it either. And a lot of old graveyards. Right here, look, see all the graveyards here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
these
interesting.
are all family graveyards. You know, people used to bury their family in their yards.
Don't let friends eat imported seafood. Bumper sticker on the
Oh, yeah.
truck.
And this is the Silver Lake Harbor, what they call Silver Lake Harbor.
Has there ever been a time where you've been cut off? A lot of storms, ferries haven't come in?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Like food gets cut off?
Yeah, we always keep food and beer in the refrigerator. If you want to call it downtown, come in downtown.
You have a skyscraper.
Yeah, that's boy. There was such a protest on that when that got built. It took them forever. They like to sabotage this guy. He finally got away with it. Now, this is the other golf cart rental business on the island. We're a friendly competitor.
You guys get along?
Oh yeah, if I run out of carts, they call him. If he run out of carts, he calls me.
Whose prices are better?
Mine, a little bit. We rarely call us the friendly group. He's from New York. He's not so friendly. Now this is a hell of a place to eat your lunch.
That's a good lunch place.
Yeah, that's a really good lunch place. If you want to grab you some lunch, I think we can get a couple places.
So this is one of your local go-tos?
Yeah.
Clam strips, crab cakes, fried blue. What's fried blue? Bluefish?
Bluefish, yeah, very good. What you say, buddy? What you doing? You good to see you. How you been doing? All right, doing good, pal. You come down here fishing? You ain't gonna win the tournament this time, are you? You gonna try to? Good luck. Hey, I'm all right, pal. How you doing? All right. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, yeah, I remember you, pal.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Doing all right? You doing good?
Yeah, you been behaving yourself?
Hell no.
Me either. Don't know how.
That's right. I couldn't see it.
Don't know how. Too old to learn.
That's right.
Everybody knows me. That's the thing.
High tider?
Kinda. He's a mainlander, baby. He's across the side. He's not really a high tider. He's a mainlander over the farmland.
Dingbatter. He's
Well, he's not
dingbatter.
really a dingbatter. Yeah, I'd say kind of. He lives over across on the other side of the sign,
right.
like a farmer. A lot of farmland on the other side of the sign.
Local crab cake?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
So you got a few commercial guys out here still fishing these?
Yeah. Now, we don't do commercial crabbing right on the island, but Cedar Island does.
Okay. Let's hold this like that.
What's that?
There you go.
You
Nice.
gonna put me to work? Hold
There
you
we
for
go. Okay, so you just
for him. I'm videoing him now. I'm videoing him now.
Wait, your nephew caught this.
I'm telling about his nephew who caught this. Yep.
How far out here?
He probably threw 2 or 3 miles out.
Okay.
Look at that.
It's all in the family.
Yep, all in the family, buddy. Yep, he did. He caught this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Blackened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He catches it. He goes out in his little boat, 22-foot boat. We're putting Eric on the map now.
Rex is good at many things, but not camera work.
No, that's right. Tell him he's eating your fish.
Yeah.
You just caught this, Eric.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, man.
We're making a video today.
Of him?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All day?
All day. So you got a fresh load you're just dropping.
Yeah.
Is that what a fisherman's phone looks like?
That is. Look at the scales on it.
It's got scales on it.
Show us a couple pictures of both those of fish.
That was your catch this morning?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's try this again, Rex.
There you go. Look at that. We're holding up for you guys.
No, he's like all over the place.
I don't eat my fish here. I don't buy
Why?
it back.
Why?
I don't buy it back.
Come here. We'll get you. There you go. There you go.
They're giving you shit, huh,
Yeah,
Rex?
all day long.
All day long?
Every chance they get. All right. Y'all behave. All right.
All right, Rex. Good stuff.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Good old local fun.
How many times a week you go in there, Rex?
2 or 3 times a week, probably. Yeah, this is basically dine, if you want to call it. There's no fast foods or nothing like that. You know, this is all just.
That's nice, though.
Yeah. And there's some gift shops and stuff like that.
Relaxed island life.
It's relaxing. In the wintertime, there's very little stuff going on. If that car was coming and I knowed him, I could stop and talk to him. We sit here in the middle of the road 10 minutes without a car bothering us. There used to be a nice restaurant here, but the hurricane took it out. And here's our local fish house, where you buy your local fish, and we sell you fish here and everything. Ocracoke Seafood. And here's the lighthouse.
Still functioning?
Yes, the light still works, you know. You can't climb it, you can walk down to it. If you want to come down after a walk, come back yourself and walk down to it, you can.
Oldest functioning lighthouse in North Carolina.
That's right.
One of the oldest in North America.
Yep. Used to guide the ships in.
Dozen of brave lighthouse keepers and their families living a few steps away. Keepers' quarters.
That was used to be the keeper's quarters. They're being remodeled right now.
That's so cool. Just a whole different culture. I mean, not for you, but just for those on the mainland. Like,
yeah, it is. That's why
lighthouse culture.
That's why it became such a heavy tourist destination.
Okay. Are there too many tourists now or no?
Sometimes there is. It's how I make my living now, so it don't bother me. But yeah.
Right. You can't be a hypocrite and say no tourists.
No, exactly right. You know, I mean, yeah, exactly. Let me put it to you like this: we might be richer in money now, but we were richer in a way of living when we were young. We were poor. I grew up very poor, being from 11 young, very poor. I had hand-me-down clothes and everything. My dad and mom had to feed 13 miles. But now we got more money. We're richer in money, but we were richer in the lifestyle back when we were growing up. When your neighbor was your friend, if he lived there and he lost his roof, everybody jump in and help him.
Why do you think when we get more money, we lose our humanity like that? What is that?
Some people go to their head and they just grow greed, I guess. I really don't know the answer to it, but they get to the point that's all they want, money, money, money.
Right.
Life's not all about money. Yes, I like to make money. I can treat my grandkids what they want, my kids what they want, and I got money to go travel. But money's not everything. Money don't buy friendship, money don't buy love. You got to have that.
Yeah.
That's my way of thinking.
Yeah?
I know I might be wrong, but
No, I think you're right.
you can't take it with you when you go. I mean,
Money helps money problems. It's a balance.
yeah, I'm going right down here just
right.
honest. I'll put it this way, there are many different ways of being rich. You can be rich in money or you can be rich in the love of life and culture. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Now, the village craftsman, Philip Howard, he's a very interesting guy to talk to. He can tell you some old stories. He does storytelling. Just go see Phillips in here. He can talk to him for a few minutes.
Rex says you have the stories.
Old-timey story, old-time Ocracoke story.
Old-timey.
Tell them about, well, I was just telling you, it used to be a dry. You couldn't buy any beer or anything on the island. So everybody, the old-timers, they like to make, in order to get something to drink for alcohol, they would make wine. Like meal wine was a big thing, what they called wine out of meal, cornmeal.
Okay.
So, right?
Yeah, the recipe, tell me if I'm right or wrong, 5 gallons of water, 5 yeast cakes, 5 pounds of sugar, some raisins, did I say that?
Meal.
And 5 pounds of meal. You put it all in a big jug, put it out in the woods.
5-gallon jug, you put it out in the woods and let it brew for about 2 weeks.
Why in the woods?
Well,
So the women folk couldn't find it.
So the women couldn't find it because they would get mad. They'd beat you with a broom if they find out you were drinking. They didn't like you didn't like you drinking. The wives, that is.
Wait a minute.
When did it turn wet again? It was a dry island.
When Ronnie Howard started the pub in late 80s.
Oh, it was
Mid-80s.
it was dry here until the late 80s.
Yeah, yeah. So the night.
Wow. So you guys were making your own wine, moonshine.
Like 1885.
It was very religious, or why? What was the reason for that? Or just tradition?
Dry county, and I don't know the actual.
I mean, there were a lot of dry counties all over the country, but especially in the South.
Yeah, it wasn't being approved of by everybody, you know. So.
Okay.
But Fowler told me, he said, when you go out there to drink that meal wine, you want to take your banjo or your guitar
they go
with
out
you.
and play music in the woods,
play-
drinking and getting drunk.
Play cards. He said when you dipping down in there, when you got to the bottom, he said every once in a while you'd find that a rat had crawled up the side and had fallen in and had drowned. He said, now if you were from the mainland, you'd pick that rat up by its tail and throw it in the woods. He said, but you were a true Ocracoke, you'd pick that rat up by its tail and wring him out good before you threw him away.
So you wouldn't waste the wine.
You've heard that, haven't you?
Ocracoke.
We're Ocracockers. We're considered
Okay.
Ocracockers.
Am I an Ocracoke?
Yeah, you're an Ocracocker.
I want that
No,
on.
that's huge.
Your family's been here long enough. You're not a dingbatter. You're Ocracocker.
That's huge. Hearing from Rex that you're an Ocracoke.
I want that on tape.
Yeah, that's there. It's on the
Because I
record.
wasn't born here, you know?
Yeah, he wasn't born. Everybody's a true Ocracocker because his family goes back so far.
Hey, buddy.
Is there a middle word between dingbatter and Ocracoke? Could I be somewhere in the middle?
Transplant. Well, you're not a transplant.
Okay.
Well,
Visitor.
But hey, now listen, dingbatter's not necessarily not necessarily a bad thing. James Barry was said he's dead now, bless his heart. He was born and raised here. He said my wife's been here 42 years and she's still a dingbatter because she moved here from somewhere else. You know. And
How about your wife? Dingbatter?
Yeah, she's kind of dingbatter too.
She's a dingbatter too.
Yeah, she's a dingbatter too. She's a good dingbatter though.
She is a good. My father was born here.
Okay.
But my dad left when he was 16 years old. And most of the men in my dad's generation worked up in Philadelphia, worked with the U.S. Army
Remember I
Corps.
told you a lot of people wouldn't fill
Yeah. Okay.
Worked with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on dredges and tugboats.
You decided to come back,
Yeah, I came back. I started this business in 1970.
but you don't have the brogue.
That's because my father moved away from here. My father, he had some of it, but he'd been away for so many years. That
So
he didn't-
Rex is like an endangered species right
Oh
now.
my God, he is an endangered species. No question about that.
No question.
So you love it out here though.
Oh my God, it's a great place to live.
Why?
And, you know, my son-in-law, he moved here from Oklahoma and married my daughter. And you'll confirm this. He said a lot of people come here and they fall in love with Ocracoke and they move here because of the natural beauty and the beach and all that kind of stuff. But they stay here. They like being here because of the sense of community.
Yeah, I mean everybody's friendly. It's a good friendly. You can see kind of friendly
Yeah,
community.
sure.
Everybody's friendly. You know, people we don't like hatred around here
That's right.
for the most part.
Hey, I'll tell you another story that you might enjoy. I built a house down on Lighthouse Road. One time I was working here, and I walked home about 5 o'clock at night, and I walked in my front door, and I looked into my bedroom, and Karen Lovejoy was lying on my bed, one of my neighbors. And I said, "Oh, hi, Karen. How are you?" She said, "I'm good, Philip." She said, "David," her husband, she said, "David's in the bathtub." There aren't many communities where that can happen.
Her name was Lovejoy,
It is Lovejoy, Karen Lovejoy. She was, yeah.
and she was on your bed.
She was lying on my bed reading a magazine,
For the Lovejoy part.
and her
And her hubby was in the bathtub.
husband. Well, I didn't hear that, but
Okay, what happened afterwards?
her husband was in the bathtub. Their water wasn't working or something.
They were real close friends, but yeah.
You didn't jump into bed too, did you?
No.
Eric rubbed off on me. I got really bad dark humor now.
Did you talk to Ferris too?
I don't know if
That's his
Ferris.
brother.
Oh my God.
That's my other nephew, Faris. Go in or
You remember how we started this business?
Not exactly.
I started a teepee right there in the.
Oh, I do now, yeah.
Remember now?
Your father's he's a great storyteller. And I didn't know this business you guys have, it's all US products.
Yep.
That is very cool.
Started in 1970, before I was born.
Where are your artists from?
All over. A lot of them have connections. Like that artist grew up on Ocracoke. Her grandfather was actually my principal at school.
Oh, cool.
She moved from the coast and then got stuck in Hurricane Helene in the mountains.
Oh, okay.
So she left the coast, but ended up in a hurricane anyhow.
Okay, so
Allison's from the county. She doesn't live on Ocracoke, but she's from the county.
So we like to support our small artists. It's really important.
I love it. And you have a pirate theme going on here.
Did he tell you about his potential connection to Blackbeard?
No.
It's on the wall there. See it? These are my grandparents,
Okay.
and that little baby's my father. But here's the line. That's Amy, right here.
Okay.
and her brother. That's me, my father, and going back all the way back to William Howard, who bought the island in 1759.
Oh, wow.
He might have been the same William Howard that served as Blackbeard's quartermaster.
So that explains your personality a little bit. You got a little pirate in you.
I guess that's a compliment, right?
Yeah.
Did you see my books? These two are ghost stories and history. This one is every chapter is a different individual who had some impact on Ocracoke.
Oh, cool.
Most of them either eccentrics or free spirits or did something.
Is that the type of characteristic the island attracts? The free spirit?
Yes. I think that's an understatement.
One of our sayings is we're all here because we're not all there.
Oh, I like it. That's why I'm getting along with you guys. Thanks.
I got your little paper you can read later, a little
Okay.
Ocracoke Observer. I advertise in there. It's something you can read, take with, read on the ferry going back.
All right. Appreciate it, Rex.
Yeah, that comes out every so often. Yeah. There you go. Philip, you behave yourself. That's good stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You remember Bill Askren?
Oh, Bill Askren, I seen him take a mini bag of seaweed from down his shoulder for his garden.
He's in that book.
Bill Askren's in that book?
Yeah.
He's a hermit that moved here from I don't know where. When I was a kid, kind of. And he would go around the shore side and take tow sacks and fill them full of seaweed and use it for his part of his garden. Had a beautiful garden. Yeah. He was like a hermit, but he bought a little piece of land and he lived in a little hut. Kind of so
out there by the Pony Island.
Little hut out there by the Pony Island. They said he was a smart man. He made a radio that you could you had to lay a nickel on it for it to play. Something like that. I don't know if how true that was.
Electronics.
Yeah, but he was. He's a super smart guy.
Picture of him right there. See it?
Yeah. Uncle Marvin lived right over there.
He was the Boy Scout leader for the only mounted Boy Scout troop in the United States.
Did you know that?
What does that mean? Only mounted? Oh.
They're the only Boy Scout troop in America that rode ponies. They were mounted ponies. The ponies used to run wild on the island. Each one of them, Boy Scouts, owned their own pony. And they were what they called the mighty Boy Scout troop. You'll read some of it.
I've got a whole chapter on Marvin in there.
And he was a scoutmaster.
You remember him, of course.
Yeah, I remember him very well.
He was a great guy.
This beach is beautiful.
Isn't it a pretty beach? It's beautiful out here. You used to do a lot of surfing, fishing. You can see these are all the fishermen getting ready for the fishing tournament.
Does this ever get crowded in the summer out here?
It's quite crowded, but it's nothing like Myrtle Beach or Long Island or nothing like that. We got a pretty beach here, we do. That's why it's named #1 beach, all the different criteria. It's flat, it's pretty, the water's clean, there's no trash. I figure you'd probably like it there.
Oh, it is beautiful. Do you feel totally removed from everything?
Quite a bit, yeah. We're right there, stuck out on the edge of the Atlantic, yeah.
So in North Carolina, you can drive on the beach, no
Certain
problem?
areas here you can, certain areas you can't. And up here, what you see over these signs, this time of year, the birds start nesting places on the beach. So they have certain areas that they block off only in the summertime. And they have these same kind of things for turtles.
I've never drove on a beach for this long.
How about that?
Just goes.
Yeah, it goes. It keeps on going for another 2 miles.
So these people have these setups on the front of their trucks with the fishing poles.
Yeah, they set up right in front of their trucks and just sit there and relax and drink cold beers and watch the world go by. Soak you in the sun. Could be worse, right?
Yeah. Dallas, this is the room?
Yes, sir.
The Bros music room?
Yep.
All right.
That 4 years ago, maybe? 3?
Cool, buddy.
You gotta get Papa Chatter City.
Oh, look at you got the Rush.
Yep.
Little posters.
Yeah, I wrote all those when we first built this.
Oh, cool, buddy. Well, rip on whatever you want to rip.
See the man go to the moon and come back again. See the man from Memphis turn the world into rock and roll.
Let's see.
yeah, Dallas.
Okay.
On point.
Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer by Rush. You got this. One of the hardest songs, right? That was awesome.
Thank you.
Before we get going, what do you think's going on with rock these days? Are there any new rock bands that just crush? Nothing like any of these labels up there.
No, not that I've seen or heard. You think that I listen to, you know, the stuff that the kids my age are listening to now, but like kind of listening to every like more 80s because that's what I grew up on.
What are the kids in class listening to?
They're listening to like just newer rap. I mean, don't get me wrong, I listen to that too, but I mean, none of the kids my age listen to any of this stuff.
Is there any newer rap that's as good as Tupac?
Not really. Tupac's up there with my top 3.
You see your top 3?
Yeah.
Nice. You started playing guitar too.
Yeah, I started that 3 years ago now. I basically play with 60, 70, 50-year-old men and women.
Oh, that's cool. Matures you pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah.
So do you wish you had a band?
Yeah, I do. Because that way we can carry on. If we did have a band, we could carry on for our future instead of, you know, being stuck here.
You're too young to probably know, but do you want to leave the island or you want to stay?
My plan is to go to college in California. I want to go to Musicians Institute, and then really from there I just want to see where it takes me.
Right on. So you found your love basically at 2 years old, that being what you love to do.
Yeah, definitely.
That is so cool, buddy. Dallas Mason fan page on YouTube.
Yep.
It's where people gotta go.
Yes, sir.
Your grandma's
Oh, yeah.
running your YouTube page.
She's there. Her and my grandpa are almost there at every gig, and she's the one always taking videos and putting stuff up.
Oh, that's awesome. And I never say this for my own channel, but like and subscribe to Dallas's channel. Take care.
Thank you.
Love you, Dallas.
Love you too.
Enjoy your practice.
I will.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, Rex, thank you. That was awesome.
I've enjoyed the day. And,
Thank you. Me too.
and, everybody stay safe and healthy and happy out there. You know, I mean, we got a big world. Let's just stay healthy, happy, and safe. That's the whole
cool
thing.
to one another.
Be cool to one another. Kindness goes a long way. Be kind, and it'll come back to you.
For any of you coming to Ocracoke, Rex didn't ask for this, but I'm going to promote his business. Wheelie Fun. He's
Golf
the
cart.
guy. He's the guy.
Right,
for
you're the
golf
Ocracoke.
carts.
You can do the Ocracoke side of it.
There we go. You're a
Okay,
legend.
buddy.
Rex.
Yeah,
You're a
good,
legend.
buddy. I ain't no legend. But
All right.
I ain't no legend. I'm just here.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on that journey. Until the next one.
There you go.